So Breath of the Wild 2 is obviously one of the most anticipated games coming in the near future for the Nintendo Switch. And the first game in the installment, Breath of the Wild 1, was, of course, absolutely fantastic game in 2017. It was the perfect game for Nintendo to open up with for the Nintendo Switch for a launch title, and it won Game of the Year 2017. It has so much replayability, it's just a fantastic game all around. And the second one is one of the most hyped games coming, and most people thought it would come at the end of this year in 2020, and I'm here to tell you why it's not. And there are multiple reasons as to why it's not coming this year, unfortunately. The first is that this year, obviously, there's been the coronavirus pandemic, which is going to delay a lot of games. It's going to stall a lot of progress in terms of development for every game, and Zelda Breath of the Wild is no exception. That it's obviously not going to be worked on as much in this time, and if it is going to be worked on as much, the progress is going to be slower because communication is going to be a problem. They're not going to be able to work together in pairs together and communicate as well, and that's just going to slow down the progression of the game. It's just natural. That's one of the reasons. But the second main reason is that this year is Mario's 35th anniversary, and based on all the leaks that are coming out, Nintendo is planning on doing a huge celebration of remasters and porting over games to the Switch of all past Mario games. So their attention is going to be set on that as opposed to Zelda. And of course, Zelda's one of their biggest franchises, but Mario is Nintendo. You think Nintendo, you think Mario. So I think they're going to focus on that the most this year, especially with the pandemic. They have to pick and choose what they're going to do, and Mario seems to be more important at this point in time. And then, of course, my last point, which is kind of the same thing, is that next year, 2021, is Zelda's 35th anniversary. So if they're going all out for Mario, why would they not go all out for Zelda? And next year, they could do the same thing. Release Breath of the Wild 2 with a bunch of old remasters. Maybe not a bunch, but at least one or two, like a Skyward Sword remaster, which they've been talking about, or porting over Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, something like that, because they're planning on doing that for Mario. They're planning on releasing a new Mario game. I think it's supposed to be a Paper Mario game, and they're thinking about porting over games like 3D Land or 3D World, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario Sunshine, games like that. Why can't they do that with Zelda while releasing Breath of the Wild 2? Release Breath of the Wild 2, port over Wind Waker HD, port over Twilight Princess HD, and make a remaster for Skyward Sword. Obviously, that's a lot to ask, but it is the 35th anniversary of their second most loved franchise and one of the biggest franchises in history. So I think what they're going to do is focus this year on Mario, because it's his time to shine, it's his birthday, and next year, early next year hopefully, it could be later in the year, but I'm thinking springtime is when they're going to release Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know if they're going to call it Breath of the Wild 2, but that's what everyone's calling it right now. And obviously some other ported games or remastered Zelda games. And I think that would just be absolutely fantastic. Think about if that happened. In the winter of 2020, we get all these ported Mario games and a new Mario game, and then in the spring of 2021, we get a new Zelda game, probably one of the most hyped Zelda games in history, and a bunch of old remasters. I think that would just be fantastic. And those are the main reasons I see this happening so soon. Or not so soon, I see this happening next year. The pandemic really is changing a lot of things, and people don't really know exactly what's happening. So I do think that things are going to turn out differently than what they planned. I do think they actually intended for Zelda to come at the end of this year. But I mean, it's already April. We don't have any information. I just don't see it coming. This big of a game, I don't see it coming at the end of this year when we don't have any information on it. Yeah, that's it. So if you guys agreed or disagreed, please comment down below. And if you guys liked it and made it this far, please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed for more of this content. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.